My son Joe was on the swim team. I always enjoyed the swim meets. Some people say it's like watching paint dry, but I'm like,
I think it's when we, I think of them moving back to school.
I mean, if you pay attention and you notice like the kids getting a better time than they did the time before, it's pretty cool.
Is that guy called, up from Lindy or something?
The triple ending.
Lindy.
Gosh, that was a great movie. Haven't seen that in so long.
I'm sending everyone here something. You'll see it here shortly. From Dylan.
Painting?
Yeah, I've been painting.
Let's call the meeting order.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The motion to approve the agenda.
So,
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We have agenda. Motion to approve the minutes.
so moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Minutes approved. Communications.
I had a late conservation staff meeting Monday morning. It was just seeing what they were doing out there and what they needed to do, so. Pretty routine. That's all I have.
I noticed that there's a sign missing at Gunderson Preserve.
Is it?
The entrance sign right there, it's gone.
Okay.
I seen it yesterday when I was jogging.
I had early childhood Iowa on Monday, and it's pretty well status quo, except for when it came to that First Children's Finance that came and did that study here in Iowa County that we spent like $10,000 on, and it told us absolutely nothing that we didn't already know. So I kind of fought doing it again. They want to do it a couple different options. They want to do one kind of like that, and then another one is for Jefferson County. They have a daycare that they did this for. They did a financial model study for them, and then now they're getting into it, and they're 2 years in or something, and they're losing money, and so they want to redo it. They're going to spend another $4,000 to redo another study, and I said, well, obviously, if the first one didn't work, why are we doing another one? So I'm trying to fight some of that stuff. So that got tabled, but the other one passed by a majority eventually. But other than that, it was pretty well. There wasn't really any big updates.
I just sent you something that may have to put it on the agenda or discuss it, but Dylan reached out to me and is discussing now that he's supposed to take care of the cleaning supplies. He hadn't budgeted anything for the health department or EMA. So he's looking to possibly modify his budget proposal, as well as Sherry Pope's office, the carpet. It really does need replaced. It's trip hazard, and he had pulled it off, and he'd like to probably add that back on.
So do you remember, what's the last update you had from this budget? Is this?
You haven't gone through the changes yet, had you?
So it wouldn't matter though.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a problem.
You can leave those changes.
So why are we buying cleaning supplies?
Well, because the way I understand it is Dylan was buying all the cleaning supplies, but those other separate entities are buying their own. And now they're not gonna buy their own and they want Dylan to do it?
Well, I think
It's in the public health budget. Because I asked,
So did it come out or not?
no.
Okay, then that needs to be checked on.
so
I'm
that-
gonna check with Dylan on that.
Well, yeah, he's being approached by those two entities that they I think the way they receive the communication out, what they read or listened to, they think that his is supposed to all go. See, but they're separate entities, so they shouldn't have their own.
That's the one.
Well, especially if they already have it in their budget. We don't want it in two different budgets.
Well, we don't.
We reduced theirs, but it was pretty high. It was like, they upped it. They had increased it from last year from 4,000 to 5,000, but we used $1,068 so far.
This is for which one?
Public health. I mean,
Was it public health and something else? Oh, Josh.
Josh,
But I don't think we supplied them with stuff. I think they get their own.
Well, that's in this budget for them to do. 'Cause
Right, but
I,
I'm saying,
'cause I questioned at the meeting, like, do you guys do your own cleaning? I wasn't sure if Julie came down or if they did their own cleaning, but they do their own, so I thought it made sense for them to buy their own supplies.
should stay in their budgets.
Yeah, which we took that down by $1,500 because but they still have 4,000.
Okay, so would you like me to respond back then to them and Josh and Lloyd, or?
I would respond to Dylan to make sure where he's getting his information, make sure that if it's still in their budgets, we probably change it from there. We just need to make sure that we have money for shirts,
Yeah.
which I don't know if we changed it anyhow, so I think it's still in there.
I haven't changed any of these things.
So it's still in there, so we don't have to change it.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad we got that clarified. I'll reach out to
So we
Dylan.
just won't change it.
And I concur, I have no problem leaving the carpet in because that carpet,
Yes,
somebody could get hurt.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
whether we do squares or only
So we
carpet.
Oh, you do want to do squares.
I'm sorry,
You want to do squares.
squares, yeah.
That way, if they wear out, you can help them out, replace them, right?
You just replace the square where it's at. You can see where the desks are always in the same spot, and that's where it's
Or the
tearing.
Yeah,
high traffic area.
You know,
yeah. I gave Dylan just an estimate for that, like what it would cost. Obviously, I can't hit on it, and I'm not going to, but I just gave him an idea of what's in budget.
Sorry, I was looking at your hand.
My what? Oh, I've been painting my rental house.
And I also told him, like, if he wants me to spec it, I can to keep all these companies honest. Like, we could just say, oh, give us a bid for carpet replacement, but if we say exactly what we want, it's gonna pin them down a little bit more, and
Good quality stuff,
Or you can look over, what did you call it, spec it?
spec it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they're looking for, so.
So I have nothing else other than that right now.
All I got is, Michelle wants you or I to come over and look at a window afterwards.
Yeah.
Did you have to take off at noon too? I got a meeting at 1, so if we go late, I don't know about that.
It should be done by
I
then.
don't think we'll have anything that carries on.
Or we could both go over there. She's got a window leaking, not,
I can't see, we won't be out here by 11.
Air leaking,
no
Water.
water.
oh my God.
That's what I said.
She said it's not wet now, but you can see where it was
Rained
at.
in.
Great.
Okay. Open forum? Nothing?
No.
Did you watch?
Okay. Then, if we should, we'll drop down below then. Liquor licenses, corporations. Authorize and sign list of financial institutions to be depositories. Everybody got that in their email, they looked that over, or I can pass this around if you'd like. Where our money gets placed. Everybody I see, if they look at the email.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Review investment policy from treasurer. Did you read that one? They got emailed to them too?
It was, yeah, it was just good policies and guidance for investment.
No. Just agreed, no action taken. Okay. Okay, so everybody read it and it's been reviewed.
Yeah.
Insurance. Now we can officially discuss it. I personally am in favor of just leaving everything the same and not doing the high deductible thing because, like I said, then we have to do the savings account, which is a lot more work for the auditor to set up and do all that. And it's just kind of a crazy year. Down the road, I think it's worth looking into, but right now it's just not the year. We've kind of had kind of a crazy year. That's my opinion.
Well, then next year they might have a better plan too. I mean, it's the first year of that,
Yeah,
so I agree.
I'm in agreement.
Leave it the same.
so I'll make a motion to keep the insurance policies the same and accept our renewal.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Budget discussion, which we already had a little bit of, so make it official that we're gonna leave Dylan's alone so we can accomplish those projects.
Good with that.
And I don't know at this point, we have any other budget discussions to be doing besides,
Sit and wait. Until March 20th, I can. Yeah, but that is
March.
You have to wait till March 20th?
not the number for that.
What about the publications and other garbage? We have to do, we have to wait for those to be cleared before we can let the publications in.
Publication.
We always had
In the
publication in the paper, we had deadlines for everything.
The mailer goes out first, right?
That's what I mean, it seems like,
I know, it's kind of scary. And then we gotta jam it all through and.
Should be fun.
so if there's something I think we need to do, you let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're done discussing with that. Anything else? Maybe have anything for next week? Besides, you're gonna get the wording for union negotiation.
I sent an email, yeah.
So we can-
Do we need to like approve what Rob sent us, or is that pretty much just his?
This is an amendment, I believe.
Yeah,
we just,
I think it was
we
on
just
there.
signed, we signed off before, I think.
Yeah, it was on our agenda the last time.
But I think, he has to send it out to get, if they're gonna approve it before we approve it.
And I have the North English City Council meeting next Wednesday. Victor is Monday, so I think Rob's planning on going to.
So we present those numbers that he gave us to us?
I think it's a logical.
Okay, yeah, I'm just making sure I'm on the right page, because I still haven't got a hold of anybody in Lenore yet. I left a message at the city hall, but good luck, huh?
But I forget which,
I guess I can stop at the Lenore store, and I'm sure it'll get me in the right contact.
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
Thank you.
do we,
who is it?
Nicole Shetty?
do we have to do anything with the, continued support of the Iowa County Community Development?
They're coming in.
They're
Laura's
coming
coming in at 10:15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whether he wants to handle discussing the ULED or if he wants me to use Ayers, but I will forward you guys, Maria did give me an engagement letter. If he says no, then we'll work with her on it. So I'll forward this engagement letter to you guys.
How many we got?
We could probably use another corkboard.
Dimensions?
Somewhere, courthouse to hang another corkboard.
So you don't know where it needs to go, what size it needs to be. You want it to be a bold, or a cone.
I can go over a couple of meetings.
Do you want to talk about this, Kevin?
Oh, I guess already, it's taken care of.
Okay,
It's
and it
just a
came
thing.
out of Hotel Motel, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was misunderstood. It's a thank you.
Okay.
Morning, Nick.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I sent you guys just the board packet from the meeting I'm going today. And it has kind of the description of what the duties of the representatives of that board will be if you're interested in looking at it. That hasn't been approved at the meeting yet, but that's what they're looking at. I think it's on there. No, it's not on there.
Well, you're-
Okay. So I know that you guys had asked, and so have other people, about fixing, there's 2 bridges on B52 south of Ladora. There's 2 bridges on M Avenue that we paved last year, where the approaches are kind of rough. And when we did concrete patching last year, I asked them to give me a quote to redo those, and they thought that, they looked at it, they thought it'd be better if we probably milled down and put some asphalt. So I got a hold of Pelling to do those 4 spots, and then also I got them to quote me for a fillet on the Iowa Johnson Road, just south of Highway 6. Right now, there's only like a 4-foot fillet there, makes it hard for the motor grader. If we go back 35 feet, we can, motor grader doesn't have to be out on Highway 6. We've done it before, when the DOT was doing 151, we had them add fillets for us. They added a pretty good sized one here 10 years ago on L Avenue. So, if you guys want, I got the email there asking for it, but Pelling did get back to me, and to do all of that would be $109,669.75.
Where would this come out of?
My maintenance budget.
Okay.
You can make it work.
Sure. Yeah. So with,
So you want us to make a decision on this?
I would say we just vote to approve it. Yeah. We've got obviously a lot of people that have asked this, and we can't do the work ourselves, and the concrete people won't do it, so this is the next best.
How many complaints have you had, Doug, do you think?
I've had several.
Okay.
And I know that there's a few others out there by Ladora, and then I think everybody on M Avenue. You know, now that the road ride's really good,
You really
You do
notice
notice
it.
it.
you notice it.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved.
I think this will make people happy.
How many feet was it that's being there?
So they have square yards.
Iowa Johnson line.
Oh, that will probably go, right now, there's probably a 4 or 5 foot fillet. We'll probably go back 35 feet.
That would help dissipate some of that dust complaints too, probably, when people are making it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna help. It's not gonna be so much the dust. It'll be a lot for the greater safety. And it'll also be a lot when cars come up to the intersection. Like I know with this last snow, right, there was a pretty good sized bump there, but now you won't spin your tires trying to get on to the blacktop and go like hell because the bad sight distance and everything. Now you're set and you can go.
Are you gonna look at taking those trees out in the ditch too?
No, that's all DOT. And we do call the DOT a couple times a year to have them.
And no response?
No, they trimmed back, Johnson County a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
The other guy on the other side, he's got a cannon. I let the DOT deal with him.
Yeah, well, that looks like a safety issue when you're coming from the west. and trying
So we give them a call, yeah. We did it this spring, we did it a couple years ago. And they'll go in and cut back.
And
It's interesting. Nice, it was nice, just an interesting.
nice cannon.
Yeah. So we are working on the bridge on H Avenue. The bridge is out. They're bringing in the crane Monday. And so we're gonna keep moving with that. They'll start with, we're gonna stake it out Monday, the one side, they'll pound in the piling. They'll move their crane, we'll come in, we'll take out the other abutment. And, yeah, everything right now is just gonna depend on, weather as far as the progress of that, but they're blowing holes in in the beams, so we're going. We did push back some snow this week. I think we got called out one morning for frost. We got the crew working on H. We had 3 guys hauling rock. That is something, so in the spring, a couple years ago, we started hauling some of that 1-inch clean. I did have a few motor graders request for more of that. They like that in the spring, which is good. So I think we maybe hauled like 1,000 tons of that. And then cutting brush. And as far as the office goes, did the monthly numbers this week. There was 2 days of federal aid training, so 3 of us went both days. Had to redo everything we've ever done in the past as far as how the FM gravel contracts are going out. It took me a full day to redo everything, but I did get that submitted. We're gonna see what they say with their activating next year's projects and all the money with that. So, and then when you guys do get your budget stuff done, if, I don't know how, if you just say what I showed you is approved or whatever, because I have to start entering that into the DOT system. So.
We are happy with our budget right now, but we can wait till March 20th to mail out the mailer.
It's not official.
So,
I would think he'd be fun to work on his numbers through DOT, wouldn't he?
I could probably just
Yeah.
start putting everything in the
Yeah.
way I had it.
Yeah. Do you need a letter?
I will have, I'm still waiting on Powashik County. I'm waiting on the North English thing. You guys probably will have to do another 28E agreement with them. All that is out there and waiting on it. Once we get those, I can officially print off my amended 5-year program for you guys to sign. And then I can go in and make next year's, which then I'll have to bring back and you guys sign again. But right now, I need people to answer my emails.
You need them.
So that's a lot of, but we did get the bridge activated for next year and the road, one road at least activated for next year and my FM gravel. So. Other permits and forms, the new dust controls for 2024 are going up. Changed around some of the pre-trip inspection forms, redid all that. The Title VI annual review, if you guys are, we have to do an annual review of all the Title VI complaints and everything else. So the first year, I had to copy other counties, obviously, but typed out, formatted 5 pages yesterday of that. And now I gotta go through and put our answers in, but.
So you need that on the agenda then, or is that?
Yeah, probably for the 16th. Title VI annual review.
Just want to be sure.
Yep. So now that I've got all the forms made. The other thing I want to talk about is, to be honest, I'm not real knowledgeable in this area. So let's just read it because it looks expensive. I don't know who's doing it, if it's the state, if it's national or whatever, but they are changing around how GPS works. Our GPS grid for the county, each county has one. Ours was last updated in like 2008, but they're going around and redoing all of that again. They're going away from like the US survey foot and going to the international foot, which is 0.0001 difference or something like that. I'm not 100% sure how the whole works, but So that means that all the monuments or whatever that we did around 2008, everything has to be adjusted. And Dan Corbin has been after me for years to do this. Well, apparently the final switch comes in a year or two or something. And so I'm not quite sure what we have to do. But he says, I was like, why is this on the county to update all this, right? Like survey, well, you have surveyors in your county? Yeah, you know, have them pay for it. Have somebody, do you use GPS? You know, so we do all of our stuff on local grids and everything. Well, it's all the other counties are doing it.
Those websites sketchy.
Yeah. I'm sure that he will do a good job, but they're taking,
Is it being mandated?
I don't know if it's mandated, but everything then that we have done in 2008. So essentially, we have all these grid points around Iowa County. They are now all going to change by very, very slightly little, but it will make a change. Does the board want to update those so that surveyors around and us, and I don't know if that's what our GIS links to, that all of that can be utilized?
There's certain points I know GS, it's like off another, it's like one of the baseball fielders.
So,
Yes, that'll have like a new.
does he have a
coordinate.
price tag? Like he was,
So I said, can you give me a price tag? Knowing that NGS is planning to publish a new data system in 2025, allows us to streamline our approach in the Iowa County GPS network. This streamlined approach removes the interim deliverables and thereby reduces the overall project cost, estimated cost. Pre-GPS survey monument reconnaissance, so he's got to go out and shoot all of them, find them and shoot them. That's $7,700. These are rough estimates he's got. New static GPS field observations and unconstrained adjustments in 2024, $32,000.
no.
NATRF 2022 network adjustment and report, another $11,000. The overall cost listed above are streamlined approach, which will save you $10,000 overall.
You can save 50,000 by not doing it.
So I told him, I printed off what other counties they had a question and answer session online a couple years ago. I printed that off. And it looks like it was like 22,000 a couple years ago. Looks like other counties are doing that. I asked him if he would be willing to come in and talk to you guys about it, because this is how he makes a living, is doing these 4 counties. So he's giving me the sales call, and I put it off now for how many years? But it does sound like it's something we do have to address. I'd asked him if he wanted to come give a speech to you guys about it, because he said, well, I don't want to come down unless I have your support.
You would really need to do it, Matt.
What about the,
That's,
I mean, you're the expert.
no, I'm not the expert on,
You understand it.
but if we're paying a GIS mapping system and they put the coordinates in to begin with, wouldn't it be up to them to update it? It has to be.
I don't know if our GIS connects to any of this or not. I don't know.
There's other one that puts they put the markers in, there's like 7 or 8 across the county or something like that.
I think that there's more, but I'm not for sure. And I don't
I think
even
there's
know.
gotta be more. I've got one in my driveway or on our road.
One of the main ones?
I think so.
Well, are you sure it could just be a section corner? Or is it a
They dug it up,
property pin?
really. They dug it up. one day.
Property pin, section corner,
Is it in the middle of the road?
Yeah.
It's probably not one of those that.
probably a property pin. I don't even know how many we have.
I have no idea.
There isn't a lot, I didn't think.
And I don't even know who uses them.
What do you think the benefit really is to yourself?
It's hard to say, because in 2008, when these were probably put in, I know that GPS surveys were still a thing, right? But you usually still tied into a system. Now, when we send out our GPS, we don't even tie into anything, but we might connect to these somehow. So I'm not sure how the technology's changed over the last 15, 16 years since they put these in.
Because the last time I had a surveyor, they did everything off GPS satellite.
And I don't know if they tie into any of this.
So you don't know if that's something like a company like MMS would?
I don't know. I mean, I can call around for that.
I think we just probably research it a little more.
That's, you got
But
other.
do you want him to come in and give you a?
I'd say not yet. Yeah. And
I was like, if you're trying to sell us on $50,000 worth of services, you could take an hour to come in and talk to the board. Especially when I keep rejecting him.
Where's he
I
from?
just don't understand the benefit to it.
Yeah,
Because we've already got, I can go 3 blocks down the street, pull up my GPS and tell me where I'm at. I mean, what is this, how does this benefit us?
If it's something companies like MMS or, and I say MMS because that's the only way I know of a survey company. It's something they use, maybe we have to have it.
No, we don't have to, they have to have it.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't even have a surveyor per se for the work that, for the county.
That's what I told him. I was like, well, then they should pay for it or something because we don't utilize it. And
We hire it.
then he went into how it was kind of our infrastructure that other counties, you know, it's an infrastructure that other people utilize.
Do you know other county engineers that don't have their own surveyors?
Most don't have their own surveyors.
And are they doing this?
So yeah, it was a question from Jefferson County, because he's new, he wasn't aware. Winnebago County said they had done theirs in 2003. We updated it in 2014. It's my understanding that it will be updated again. So it looks like they're updating it always. Code says we are responsible for the section corners of the county. It is my feeling that our network of monuments makes the survey more accurate and better tie for each corner.
Because that new survey says the cornerstone that was placed there in the 1850s is wrong. I think it's still right because of, you don't get to change the cornerstone.
So I guess my main thing today was,
So
you know,
what,
you want him.
whatever surveyor that you use the most, have you been in contact with them or asked them what they think?
Sure.
And why we would have to do this?
Or even a couple of them.
And obviously, they'll say yes.
Right, and say, well, why
You
is
know
it?
what they'll say.
But like I said, when I used one the last time, we didn't do anything. We just did it off the satellite.
Kind of.
Because I was with him.
Yeah, you do it up to the satellite, yes.
He found the pin in the middle of the road and
But yes, but you probably weren't with him when he went a mile or two
oh
in each direction to shoot in others. And then on top of that, I don't know if they then shoot one of these monuments for one or two of these for an extra base to get super tight.
Yeah, we're not trying to shoot the messenger. I know you're just bringing it to the board, and it'd probably be good to talk to them, but gosh, we're gonna have to keep trimming down as we go forward. I just don't know if we need that extra expense for taxpayers.
Well, he's been calling in a lot, so I wanted to bring it to your attention. So
Can you check with your other county engineers and see if they're doing?
that's what.
Either that or just asking more about Keokuk, Benton, asking about the neighboring counties, what they've done.
And I can see that some of them have. And that's what, Washington,
I just, ask the other adjoining ones that have done it, why? What's the benefit?
Washington County did, he said, I'm not sure if we had to, but we did. Tama County or Poweshiek, Lyle. I generally agree this is not secondary roads responsibilities, but some counties feel they receive benefit, so they do it. I have not for either. So I'm bringing it to your attention for now. I'll move forward on it. I'm not gonna move forward that fast. So. That is what I have. I also. Is it still you two on the secondary roads, committee? I'm just passing this out for, I will address this next week, but I wanted. Since it's between,
This looks like it's gonna be.
since it's between internal offices, I just thought I would make you aware. Cause I also know you're holding union stuff, so. After my talk, I'm sure we'll get. But that is what I have.
You mentioned flooring. I've not received anything back yet on the off-road.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Did you find your stove?
Not yet. They've been in class, we haven't been.
Dan Corbin.
That was the GPS.
So like on the one lane roads that we had for a while, are they all open to 2 lane now? The snow drifts?
Yeah, most everything should, yeah.
Do we have any major slop holes or sinkholes?
I mean, that changes daily, but I want to say, I drove around some yesterday and I asked him about the remaining. I mean, there's wet spots, obviously, but the paths down the gravel roads are drying up
I'm
exponentially fast.
shocked.
Yeah.
The ones I've been on.
A lot of that has to do too with the fact that we would send a lot of counties don't, but we do send our graders out on the weekends and they push back, to get that, but no, from driving around in our county and others, I think that our gravels right now are it's about where I thought, or if not a little bit better. It could have been worse.
Oh, I expected a lot worse. The way, all that snow that we had and we didn't have frost yet. And
You don't want to get off to the side, but if you stay down the travel portion, it goes pretty good.
Yeah, there was a lot of dirt rolled in the ditches this year.
And I was having a hard time trying to figure out where the heck some of that was coming from, because even when you look at all the grass is still there.
Right.
Right.
It didn't freeze, so something
I know,
else came off.
I
That's
know.
why.
My yard's just full of dirt too.
Oh, there was one a couple of years ago. Yeah, he was filming them for purple. We had to take a skid loader out there to get, new to the territory, right? New to the territory, and we had to take some skid loaders out there for a full day and get stuff out of people's yards. But they were all nice about it. I was out in your area.
Would you mind, sending me a text later with which individual this pertains to? I think I want to know too, unless he's already got an idea.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
So I will handle that, next week. I wanted, or,
Well,
on how we'll go down.
Kevin, you want to just meet next door when we're done and we'll call
That's fine.
him? Okay.
So that is what I have.
Good weekend, Nick.
Yep, you guys too.
Have a good weekend.
Let's welcome Jenny to the stage.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
You got one for Brandy too?
I do. About 10 more. So kind.
I sure will, just for you.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Well, good morning, folks. How is everyone doing on Groundhog's Day?
Good. How about yourself?
Living the dream.
Living the dream, that's all you can do, right?
You're in Iowa County, you have another choice.
Did you see your shadow?
So what?
Did you see your shadow?
I did not see my shadow, so we were going to have an early spring. All right, so biannual update. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. First paragraph is basically an overview of what our office does. You guys have seen it before, it's just in case there's anyone new here that hasn't. All right, so for fiscal year 2023, we have focused on the following goals. So we've continued outreach events to include the Coffee and Camaraderie, which is now every month. It has generated 10 new claims, along with dispensing information on various changes to the federal system, as well as inviting local resources like the Iowa County Health Department. Came and spoke about what services they offer. We had the suicide prevention coordinator come down last time. It wasn't very well attended though because of the weather. This event participation has usually ranged anywhere from 3 at the lowest, depending on the weather, up to 18. So it was pretty awesome to see a really large event. Thank you for coming. Also,
I actually enjoyed going, so.
they're really, actually, they're great to build a community. I really enjoy the dynamics with people building the camaraderie. You know, that's what's really important.
They seem to last longer too. I
They
mean,
do.
it used to be kind of short, but now it's, people want to talk to each other, get to know each other. I think it's really good for the veterans to do
Yeah.
that, so.
Thank you, sir. Contacting, of course, various local and federal agencies to incorporate additional assets and resources to assist veterans in need. We're currently working directly with the VA.
I kind of got the gist from your initial glance. I want my dog. And I'm like,
Did you just run now?
Run.
Why, because I'm breathing? I breathe heavy tying my shoes, that's, I put my back out putting on boots the other day, that's where I'm at in life right now, folks, thanks for bringing me.
I'm not kidding you. Huh?
I'll be in the kitchen.
Still.
I'll be in the kitchen and I'll drop something and I'll lean over and pick it up. Jack will be wondering, you okay, Bob? You're picking something up.
Yeah, I literally felt my back go out, putting mud boots on.
You're not 40 yet, are you?
No, I look like I'm 60, I'm 36. Yeah. Yeah, and this was gonna be the year where I took it all back and started making better decisions. Huh? God, I hope I don't regret it. Yeah, I think that's a lot.
Wait till you're close to 60.
I'm pushing 70.
You look great.
Oh, really?
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
We know why you're here.
He said he just ran 2 miles. He could have went another 4, he said.
that's what I'm saying, he's like, killing it. So you're making us 50-year-olds look bad.
That's the plan.
What's the secret, it's the plan?
You guys ready?
Lauren, you got, whoever's up.
What's the police doing here? I'm nervous.
Are we recording again?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not required to have someone there.
Yeah, what kind of place is this?
What did you couldn't make this.
Well, we have
What
what,
are you doing?
Yeah.
Wondering well, are you?
Yes,
Huh.
yes.
oh, we do.
What are we doing? You're gonna build out his place.
Thank you, ma'am.
You wanted to, and I sold it to him, he should have, now it's more than twice the
All
price.
right, well, just wanted to go over some of the things that we've been doing this last year. And so feel free to interrupt me if you need any clarification or questions, but this is, I've had a full year under my belt now. There's been a lot that we've been able to do, and I now see and can get some vision for what the future is gonna be like too. So a lot of needs as well, as I'm sure you are aware of. But the first thing, if you just kind of look at that, is just as far as grant writing, this is pretty much mostly what I've done or someone at our board that we've hired to do the grants. And so $160,000 we brought in this past year. And if you want a breakdown of that, the $100,000 was from the catalyst that Williamsburg received. $50,000 of that was from the library grant that I helped write in North English. And then $10,000 was from Victor for their American Legion for their energy improving solar panel project. So just as far as grants go, just straight money, that's what we've been able to bring in here. I didn't actually, the next one is the ITQ internet. And I know Alan and Abby, we've kind of talked a little bit about this this past summer, but I didn't realize the impact that had until I followed up with Wellman. And he said, Laura, he said, had we not been on that priority list, he said, we would have not received the SNOFA grant for $2.7 million. So sometimes when you do these, projects, you're not exactly sure, are we gonna get it, or how is it gonna impact? But it's a total, I think, 4.7 million. But the area is that east of Williamsburg, right, and south of Parnell area. I think there's 270 people that will get internet because of this grant. So, yeah, again, 2.7 million is what, because they were on this list that we applied for, this intent to qualify, they then received that grant.
So that'll cover Keokuk and Iowa County?
It will be, no, that's that.
Or just
region
Iowa?
is just Iowa County, yep. Yeah.
Portions of it.
I
But
think-
I mean, you're driving to continue to grow the portions that are still unserved.
There's still a lot of
A lot,
unserved, yes.
yeah. And we
But
keep,
two-
I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
we keep seeing those, directors from the state that these funds are still available. Now we will roll out another set of funds and you're actively pursuing those to help with that.
Correct, yes. So now, I had 3 places that I put to basically say, we want to be at the table, and you had to draw this whole map. And so that was one of them. The other one was sort of that Rhino Ridge area in the Parnell area. And then one is in Marengo here that we had talked about. And so that one still has not been bidded on. I think they have to decide if it's worth their time, but Anyway, 2 of the 3 that we put basically on the map to, we need broadband, we want a seat at this table, one's already been done, and then the other one will hopefully be done by 2025. So yeah, it's a big win for sure. So then Lois is just another platform that I continue to list our commercial sites on, and things like property and buildings go on that, and that's important because we don't know who is looking at Iowa County. And I've even been told by the state, we're in a very, very good location because we have railroad and we have interstate right by us. So he said the more sites that you can put on there that could be potentially developed, the better. So we did run into a situation where someone wanted a significant amount of acreage, but we just were not ready for it. And so they kind of looked us by, but it did show me that people are looking at this Lois site. So that is something in kind of my future goals that I'll probably talk about later, is starting to identify what are the places that we could potentially market as spaces that where developers could come. And then assist in bringing in new business to Williamsburg. That was more just making the information available. There were some spots in Williamsburg that, because of the Catalyst grant, where there was some retail available. So I just put on my site, hey, we have commercial spaces available, and I put all the places. And so someone contacted me directly and said, here's my business, would it be a good fit? And as we talked more, I said, yeah, absolutely, that's gonna be a great fit. And so connected her with the owner, and she's coming in April. So just.
Can you say what it is yet?
Yeah, she just announced it. It's called The Best of Iowa. And she does a lot of different things, but kind of local products. It's in Kelowna right now. She has a business she's had for several years in Kelowna. And she said she has a lot of people already from Williamsburg who are her customers. And so she thought Williamsburg might be a good spot. And it's kind of like sweatshirts and, earrings. And then she also has this freezer meal and I think some bakery things. So just trying to even make some connections. I told her there's a lot of vendors in Iowa County that you could potentially have a partnership with. So she's interested in that. But there you go.
That could be a good
Yeah,
fit
maybe
for
we
us.
can kind of connect if you want.
Best of Iowa, you said?
Best of Iowa out of Kelowna. And I can get you her information.
Thank you.
Are you guys actively involved in the new boutique that's going on at the mall?
Oh, Christy could probably speak more to that. Sorry.
I just wondered if this organization was involved in the new boutique coffee shop going out by the mall.
Well, in that, we were involved in that, so.
Yeah. It looks really nice. Looks like it's gonna be.
We're gonna, when she gets open, we've talked about doing this on a county level for some of the open stores, but she was part of what we call our pop-up program. So you basically come in and started on a 3-month lease, then went to a 1-year lease, then extended to a 2-year as she built her business. And now she's been able to go and create her own brick and mortar. So we've got 2 other people kind of in that program right now.
Nice.
But we've talked about, I've talked to Travis about his buildings. I think North English would be a great place to do it, where there's vacancies, if the landlords would be willing to do shorter term. It's a great way for people to get a business off the ground without mortgaging your house. And, you got to try it before you know if it's going to work or not. So.
Well, I can't wait to try out the coffee, so. I see they got everything in the window, so they must be getting close.
They were, yesterday learning how to use all the coffee equipment and make all the stuff. So they're getting there.
Does she have an official open date yet? Or no?
Not yet.
Okay. I know those can tend to change. So anything on the 2023 accomplishments that you want me to clarify or have any questions on before we move on to community activity? Okay, so North English continues to be a community that I have sort of, concentrated a lot of my efforts into. There's just a lot of hand-holding that needs to be done, but it's a really good community. And when we started getting people together back in March, just to talk about what can we do to get this downtown business, I would have never thought we'd be where we're at, but just little wins. But as you can see here, they now have a city website. They have a logo and you can see it on their city hall. They have a nice pretty sign there. And then we've gotten some street banners, wayfinding signage, and then we've been able to pass out a community survey. And you do these things because they're kind of these low-hanging fruits, but ultimately it's sort of this preparation ground for these bigger projects. And we found that out firsthand when we're applying for these 2 Catalyst grants. So there's one property in particular, and I apologize if I've already said this, but there's a building in North English that one side is in really bad condition. You can see 70% of the roof, and the other side still needs a lot of work. But anyway, the property owners, we just kind of asked them, like, what are you gonna do with this? And so as the state funding became available, we found out there was an emergency catalyst for $100,000 that we could apply for, as well as the regular catalyst. So when we gave them that information, we're like, okay, I think we're ready. So right now we've submitted our pre-applications for both of those. And so we're waiting to find out if we have been given the green light to then apply for the regular catalyst.
Is that a demo or is that a reconstruction?
It'll be a whole reconstruction.
Okay.
Yep, yeah.
Are you
demos.
exercising the state derelict buildings grant?
Yeah, I looked.
Are you aware of
Yes,
that?
yep,
Okay,
yep.
I do sit on the review board for the state on that, just so you know.
Yeah, I think I've looked at quite a few grants, and I can't think off the top of my head why we don't qualify for that one, but it seemed like it was something. I can definitely double check that, but I do remember seeing that one.
Okay.
But anyway, one of the questions that they ask on the application is, have there been any community efforts lately that could support your project? And so we're able to say, yeah, we've done this. We have now a nice list of things that we've been able to do in the community, that supports that there is, that support for this big project. So it's kind of this simultaneous working on the little things, but also like these bigger projects. So there will be 2 commercial spaces available, hopefully by, if we get the grants and everything, aligns correctly, then we will have 2 commercial spaces available. So we're hoping to get North English back into some more business there.
I think just to drive through Main Street at North English, compared to 5 years ago, I can really see a great improvement. I mean, it just looks really good, like it's coming.
Yeah, yep. And little things like there's vacant buildings and you contact the owners, and one was kind of just saying, I don't really care about, I just want to get my money. And I'm able to talk to them and say, listen, like, we have a community here that we want to develop. If your building just sits, and we're not asking to lowball it, but if it just sits, then we're going to have the same problem we're having across the street where it just becomes, a hazard. So he was appreciative about that. So we're hoping that he eventually lowers his, prices. But those are just conversations that we're trying to prompt, for these buildings that are just sitting empty. So I'm glad that you said that though, because we're trying to give a little bit of that. And we're having senior banners maybe come into town to connect the youth with the downtown as well, but the school has been very supportive of our efforts as well. As far as even just manufacturing companies, I think so far we have a pretty good relationship with them. One meeting that I just had with Kinsey, I think went really well. And there was just some good practical things that we took away from that, which I was appreciative of. Sometimes you just need to collect information, but even I had even asked, I went on their website and noticed that they had this area where you can explore Iowa County. And so when I clicked on it, all it sent you to, again, on Kinsey's website, it just says, the Williamsburg Chamber. And I asked them, can we expand that to all these links of Amana and North English, and not just have, because Kinsey's going to get a lot of traffic. So if there's an opportunity there where we can expand it to all Iowa County instead of just Williamsburg. And so within a week, their web support people had it all. So if you go on the Kinsey website, it'll say Explore Iowa County, and it connects you to all of the different places in Iowa County. So that's just one of those small things. Another just small thing too was, I asked her, where are your people eating? They just increased their employment to around 900 over at Kinsey. And I said, where are these people eating? Are they eating in their restaurants? And she's like, well, their lunch breaks are pretty short. And so I was like, what if we had these restaurants deliver? So I've been kind of connecting these restaurants that are local and saying, look, there's an opportunity here at Kinsey if you want to, bring those in. And so we've each restaurant kind of had their own stipulation, like a $50 minimum or a $10 order, but a lot of them were really interested. It's just making that connection, like talking to each other. So that's a huge part of my role, is just seeing opportunities here, bringing them, over there. So you'd think for a small community, we would do that better, but unfortunately, it's not what I've seen, but we're working on it, so. Yeah, so good connection with Kinsey. I plan to meet with, continue to meet with Williamsburg Manufacturing and Victor Manufacturing, and just keep that relationship open. Good, so.
May I ask, what's the status of the growth of Williamsburg Man? At one time, we were all there and they anticipated a growth of needing X amount more employees. Where we at with that?
Yeah, so the last time I talked with Jason Galt, because I asked him that specific question, and I didn't get any numbers, but I can definitely get those and give you guys a report just to have an updated idea. But he said things were cooled a little bit with the EV vehicles because of kind of some of the, I think they thought it would grow at a faster rate than maybe it has. So it sounded like it was slowed a little bit on their hiring, but what that means. Yes, and that could be definitely part of that. So I think they were kind of expecting it to just shoot up, and it's sort of been more incrementally, but still growing.
It's still progressing.
Yeah. That's the last I heard, but I plan to get together with them in the next few months. Okay, so yeah, just continue good relationships with our government entities, nonprofits, telecos. I mean, I know them a lot better than I did last year. I mean, our telecos are very important in the service, and it's completely free this year. And so we're going to evaluate if we think this is something that going forward we'll want to pay for. But it's at least a good opportunity to, these are CEOs of companies that have, they started their own companies, or they've been very successful in web design, things like that. And I personally did it on our ICCD website that I built this summer. And I just had him go through it. He was on the chat with me, and he's like, here's my first impressions. Here's what I do differently. And it was really, really valuable. So I think on a large scale, that's going to be something that we need to continue to do, is mentoring these businesses that go in.
You know how much that's been utilized?
He sends me a print, or like a data metric. So there's been a couple so far. I probably need to do a better job of marketing.
So once a year, what date from that is it? It's like July 1st, July 1st?
It's January 1st to December 31st. Yeah, just to 2024 year calendar year.
We will be providing you all with like the link, like, so if you, because we know you're out in the communities and someone's like, hey, I want to start a business, or I just started this business, you can then give them that information.
So you really don't even have to have the business started yet?
No. I mean, it's really, it's all digital. And so some, like that, some don't, but that's the way you keep it, the cost down, is by making it all virtual. So that's a pretty big thing that we're hoping will help. And we also like just businesses helping businesses too, just an organic in our own community doing that. But this is just another way of people, if you don't want your neighbor knowing what your budget is, you can, kind of go to these people that you haven't met before, but have really good insight. Next one, Catalyst Emergency, I already touched on that. But that's obviously, it would be a big boost for the community of North English. The state housing repair funding, I think Tracy talked a little bit about that last week when she was here. I don't necessarily need to go into that, other than it's a nice boost to some people that maybe in that lower income level that need some help with, housing repairs. So
Is there a better way for us or you to get that known?
I think in all of I put it on our websites. I've called insurance agencies, because a lot of it was for non-renewals. But yeah, and I know EasyCog has I've seen it from their platforms as well. But
Because I want to pick on anybody, but I know there's houses that could use the help.
Yes, I know. We were actually just talking about that. Maybe I just need to make a brochure and just strategically pass them out. I'm not sure, but maybe the cities, we can link that on their website too. It's a good.
I don't want to offend somebody at the same time you want to help them.
Right.
You just want to go in the middle of the night and stick it on their door. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
I mean,
Just do a flyover and throw them out the window.
That it
Aaron's pretty
strategically is
stealthy.
placed in disrepair homes. Yes, yes. So anyway, we're hoping people take advantage of that. They did broaden a little bit some of the stipulations. They were pretty narrow, and so I think they realized they weren't getting enough interest because it was pretty narrow to begin with. But anyway, that's, Victor, they're gonna be having, I've been meeting with, we plan to meet this month actually with, HR Green with, the big project they're wanting to do for their water and sewer. And so they asked me to be a part of that for, as far as like grant writing. So that's something that's coming down. They just got a new mayor. I mean, you guys are probably aware of that, but kind of some new leadership there. Then the last thing is the playground project in Amana. We got a significant donation from Whirlpool recently. And so there's been some change in leadership over there, some resignation that was recently happened, but they are coming together, thankfully after that. And I think it'll still happen. I'm connected with Whirlpool and they said that's fine for now, but we do want to make sure that we don't drag our feet too much because we really want to see it happen. So, yeah.
So they don't have enough money to get going yet?
They have enough money now to buy the equipment. And then, so Whirlpool has given this big amount of money so that they can order the equipment. And then their challenge is, if you can raise 50,000, then we will give you another significant amount, which would pretty much cover the project. So, but they do want some more community buy-in. So that's where we're at there, but we are continuing to.
That's behind the barn restaurant, correct? Or down by the barn, isn't that?
Price
what it is?
Creek. Price
Price
Creek Event
Creek.
Center, that was the
Sorry.
original spot. Now that it's sort of changed hands, there's 3 potential sites
Okay.
that ACLUD is saying that we're kind of going back to square one and saying, so, but yeah, that was where it was gonna be. So, but we will see. But yeah, that's continuing to go on. So anyway, the goals here are, exploring revolving loan funds. And this is a little bit of a newer idea to me, but I've been told at state levels and several contacts that this would be a good thing to get into. Revolving loan funds, in short, is, I mean, I don't know how familiar you are, so basically we could apply to get federal funding through the USDA, and then once we get that funding, we can then loan it out to like a business. And it's beneficial that way because it wouldn't have as many stipulations as the bank. And we would administer that. So it's just something, is that going to be a good fit for us? But it's something that I at least want to start talking about as another option for our small businesses.
EasyGov has it also available.
They do, yeah, yep. And it would be more of ICCD would be the administrator of that, but I think we're still a little bit, I just need to get more information on it, but yes, they do. Identify sites and locations and list them on LOIS. So this is more of our big project that I would like to see happen.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Okay,
Was that recorded?
no, we didn't get that.